Top of the morning to you, Alf.
Oh, what's happening? What's happening?
Oh! Let's go!
Byron Buxton, PSA now.
Welcome back to another video on the Sports Card Dad channel. We've got an interesting one today thanks to Reddit and these subreddits, these sports card subreddits. Really kind of interesting to see what people are posting here and the reactions to these posts. We've got a is it real or is it fake post, and there's actually a bunch of these all the time. Before I dive in, make sure to get the $25 off your first PSA submission with the SCD25 code at the shipping and billing screen. Also, I have added a Just Collect link down there in my video description. If you have a collection to sell, whether it's modern or vintage, they do have an easy appraisal form on the website there. Again, link below in the video description. Easy peasy over at justcollect.com. Card Capsule, you're looking for supplies. You don't want to pay a fortune for great quality supplies. $25 off your first $100 spend over at Card Capsule with the SCD25 code. Again, the video description, the pinned comments. If you're looking for all the hobby discounts, whether it's supplies, grading, whatever it might be, I've got you covered, my friends. All right, as collectibles and sports cards specifically have gotten more expensive here over the last 4 or 5 years, there's a lot more attention on this space, and that means people are out there hunting at garage sales, yard sales, at Goodwills. They're looking for collections. They're looking for diamonds in the rough. And here on Reddit, I thought this was interesting. This guy posts what looks to be a Tom Brady ticket auto rookie card. It looks fantastic. It's signed, but it's 50 bucks. 50 bucks, that's it. So is this just an amazing find out there in the wild at a yard sale? Or is it a reproduction? Is it a fake? And again, I think I'm kind of a novice when it comes to the fake cards or the counterfeit stuff. I didn't realize that we've got the tech now to be able to print these off. And I don't know if the signature is kind of like facsimile, like it's printed, or if somebody signs it after the fact. But again, it was interesting to see the comments where you have a lot of people, and I would say most people are like, dude, come on. People know that this is Tom Brady, so they're saying it's clearly fake. There was a few comments, though, that were like, that's his autograph from his rookie season. That's it. That's the real deal. Is it real? Is it fake? And I think there's so many posts. I've seen these on Facebook as well, in Facebook groups, where there's so many posts. 86 Fleer is all, I feel like that's the most common one because there are a lot of reprints of that card. I think PSA said that something like 20% of the submissions in 2023 or 2024 of the 86 Fleer were not real. 20% of the 86 Fleer Jordans that were submitted in to PSA. I mean, that's a tremendous amount. But now we're seeing more sophisticated shiny cards with autographs. Are those printed off on a Xerox machine that's like a good quality copier or something? I guess that I'm a novice in this world. I know that fake cards exist and they have existed for a long time. But it seems like the tech is getting better, or it seems to be getting better. I thought that this card looked actually, just looking at the photo there, I'm like, that actually looks pretty good. If that's a fake, and the back is there as well, that's a pretty darn good looking fake. Maybe in hand you take a look at it and you're like, oh yeah, this is definitely not real. But just looking at photos on the internet, and look, eBay, the largest seller of sports cards on the planet, all these auction houses, you're not holding cards in hand typically unless you're at a card show. You might be bidding on a card. And I guess that's, again, when we talk about third-party grading and authentication, it is why a lot of people just, if they're going to buy a card like this, they're going to buy the graded version of this card. It made me think, though, of the repack game. And again, being a novice to the repack game, I've never bought one before. But are most cards in repacks graded cards? I think that they probably are. But this is always kind of the risk of repacks. And now we've got companies that are buying millions and millions and millions of dollars of inventory. They've got to feed this machine, this repack machine. And could some of these types of cards slip into a repack? Now, I think the larger companies are probably buying graded. I would think that they're probably more careful. I'm speculating here. But look, there's a lot of different guys that are running repacks. But to even complicate matters worse, we've also seen pretty good fake slabs out there. There seems to be groups that are putting out, fake BGS, fake PSA. You got to be really careful with this stuff because there are some that look really close to the real thing. It's an ongoing battle between grading companies, the con artists, But it's something as buyers we need to be mindful of. But again, it made me think of repacks and just the velocity, the volume that's being done. It's something that I think we have to be really careful of. If you are somebody that's buying into repacks, I would just say just be really careful. Be choosy with who you're working with and make sure to pay attention to, are these graded cards coming out of the repack? Is the big chase ungraded? Because if it happens to be that some of the big chases are ungraded, they might, who knows, counterfeit cards slip into the mix. That's a problem. That's a problem for the overall industry. It's something the industry as a whole is trying to get a handle on and crack down on. A lot of these are really obvious. I mean, a lot of the fakes and reprints are really obvious, but there are some that are really good fakes. We just had the autograph scandal where there was a decent amount. The guy said $350 to $500 million or something of fake sports memorabilia, autograph type stuff. I don't know if the number is that high, but even if it's, let's just say it was $50 to $100 million, it wasn't $300, $400, $500 million. Operation Bullpen going back to 80s, 90s, that was a $100 million scandal going back. So this is on par with some of the larger scandals that we've had. We don't have an exact number on that autograph scandal, but that stuff had been flying under the radar for a long time. And I think fanatics and these companies were working with the FBI. They were starting to crack down on this guy, and I think that's eventually what kind of cracked the case. But, you know, if it can happen on the sports memorabilia side, sports cards falls under that sports memorabilia bucket, that umbrella, and it can happen to all of us in the trading card space. Again, when you've got boatloads of cash money that are flowing through an industry like this, where it's never been more popular, let's not think that scammers aren't going to try to make some easy money. So be careful out there with raw, ungraded cards that look too good to be true. This one was just like for $50, and there's people in that comment section on Reddit that were like, hey, for $50, I'll take a shot at it. You know, but I think that might have been, maybe that's the game. Maybe it is like, hey, I'll just price this so low that somebody will just buy it for $50, shoot it over to the grading company and give it a shot. And hey, they're out $50. They're probably going to be like, okay, I took a risk for $50. And it actually wasn't a signed Tom Brady card or a Michael Jordan card or whatever it might be. Let me know your thoughts on this. Do you think that this is a widespread problem with fake reprint counterfeit type cards that are out there? Or do you think that in the grand scheme of things in the card world, with how many cards are out there printed, if this is a relatively small problem? I'd just like to hear from others, because it's not something that I've ran into where I bought a card on eBay and it ended up being fake or counterfeit or something like that. But I know it happens. I know that it's out there. And the scammers, they're going to keep trying, especially with all the money in this space. Friends, have an amazing day ahead. Stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.